They told us to give a disclaimer. The views expressed on this podcast are those of the podcasters, any guests, and do not reflect any of the management, owners, sponsorships, or employees of thereof. Pretty much, if you're soft, don't listen to this podcast. One thing I pride myself on is just being the same and trying to look out for my folks along the way.
Like, even with all these, big things happening, like, you still mad humble, and you still, like, you have enough clout now where you could easily be like, I'm not fucking with this, I'm not fucking with that.
Oh yeah, motherfuckers, it's on. Unrestricted Podcast listeners, thank you so much for clicking play. Because of you, those numbers are going up, up, and up. As you know, we started the Patreon. So if you want to be a part of the Patreon family, help support this, help keep the lights on in the studio, because it's not free to do this stuff. You know what I mean? They say it's a hobby, but it's not a hobby.
Hobbies are expensive, bro.
Oh, you know all about that. You be taking everything and building crazy things, but you could sell your. Oh, I guess I can sell this too.
Yeah,
I pretty much do. I'm borderline about to sell my ass on Patreon. Try to keep the lights on.
You could go the Corey Sandhagen route.
Oh no, is he doing OnlyFans now?
Just the nutsack.
That's what I was saying. He's selling his nuts, right?
That's it. He said he made $2 million a month, though. I'm like, a bunch of people are going to start going wild on OnlyFans.
I just need to
stay away,
get some wins on Fierce, and then I could build my name up to hopefully sell my nuts.
Dude, we were literally just talking about this in the car. There's like a trend going around. It's the reverse OnlyFans, where you just send pictures to your homies until they pay you to stop sending the pictures.
Hold on, did you
your
start?
monthly subscription? No.
Say, you have a start.
That's how you know if you're the homie or not.
you go to the center, you're like, I ain't getting no pictures. What the hell?
Yeah. Dang, bro, I thought we were cool.
So if you want to check out my nuts, make sure you subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Dre Rocka. Now today I got two very special guests across from me and one beside me, Saygen and Zack. Fierce Fighting Championships in the building. FFC. I try to start the chant, but everybody looks at me crazy.
It's all right.
I'm like,
we're not WWE yet.
We are though. That's the thing. Like, that's why I make the posters. It's like we are the biggest promotion in Utah. We need to hold this thing and be excited about this thing. I mean, I just checked the website. We got calendar dates all the way in the mid 2026. I don't know if I was supposed to spill the beans or not, but
no, it's on there. It's public.
Yep.
Dates and venues are set. 2 states. A lot of fighting going on, and I'm excited to talk about everything that we got going on with Fierce Fighting Championship. I was thinking about where I wanted to start with you two. And I think I want to start with the last weekend that we had at the Masonic Temple, which was a back-to-back night. I believe it was FFC 40, and then we had Fierce Challenger Series 14.
Mm-hmm.
Back-to-back.
It was 41 and 14.
41 on Friday night, 14 Saturday night. Right after 14 we had Legends Boxing as well. A jam-packed weekend. First off, how'd you guys pull it off? I mean, a lot of moving, a lot of shit. I know not to talk to you guys on fight nights, by the way. Sage's not this smiley, happy guy when it's fight day. He's zoned in, no time, like mission accomplished, do this. But how did we pull this off? How did it even come about as far as pulling this, I'm assuming, first ever back-to-back Fierce night?
I mean, it started with FightCon last year. Rob Scott wanted us to throw a show at FightCon, and the UFC ended up coming, so it didn't really work out for us. Yeah, that same day.
I remember we had the cage up and everything.
Yeah. So we just this was just kind of like, I think, on the back of everybody's mind. I don't even remember when we really solidified the idea.
We were going to do like a combined show, right, where we were going to do our Friday night, and then we were going to do he was going to do his Saturday executive fight night, but then we were looking at maybe doing jiu-jitsu or something else to combine to like make it a mini fight con and a lot of events. And I was like, well, we could try to do the kickboxing Muay Thai card like Saturday afternoon, and like we looked at maybe even doing a jiu-jitsu tournament or doing kickboxing Muay Thai and a jiu-jitsu tournament, then boxing or whatever. And anyways, we just settled on let's just go with on Saturday the kickboxing Muay Thai event, since the ring was already needed to be set up for Saturday night anyways. So it was fun. It was an interesting, unique challenge. Operationally, what Saygen and his crew did on their end, I think was a lot. It made that 72-hour window a lot more labor intensive obviously, and then for the actual fights and things like that, we lost enough fights on the MMA show, which is never the goal, but we lost enough fights that it made it a lot more manageable. But I think we lost some tough ones. Obviously, Anthony Castro, Ammon Garcia were two of the focal points that card and that event was going to be built around, and them losing their opponents really was a big bummer. But at the same time, like, I think 20 fights over the two events kind of worked out really nice.
Yeah, it could have been way worse if everybody would have stuck. I mean, I had my crew planning on being there until like 2 a.m. On Friday night, and we ended up getting out of there at midnight. Yeah. So it was, I mean, dude, it was a lot. And I don't really have...
We won't be doing that again.
Yeah.
Just so you know, there will be more kickboxing, Muay Thai events in a ring. We're in the process of designing, and then we'll be purchasing our own Fierce FC ring.
Oh, nice.
To do more standalone kickboxing Muay Thai events at the temple. So those will get added to the calendar. But at the same time, they will not be and they'll be primarily booked within a couple of weeks of the shows where we're out of town that month. So they'll be like the break between MMA cards. Because one thing that we found out, the kickboxing Muay Thai crowd, while we pulled a lot of MMA fighters in for that, the crowd that enjoys kickboxing Muay Thai is a little bit different than the MMA crowd.
What do you mean by that?
Some people just enjoy the kickboxing Muay Thai sport.
Gotcha.
And so and then there's some gyms that are more kickboxing and Muay Thai focused. Mm-hmm. And we had some different representation. We had a big representation from Wasatch Combat, who generally their fight team was just generally Mina Urshawati, who just moved away, and she hasn't fought for a few years now. And then Jackson DeGray and Nate Reinhardt. Nate Reinhardt moved back to Florida. So really it's just Jackson. But as far as MMA, their MMA team was small, but they were building a pretty active kickboxing Muay Thai team that was doing point fighting tournaments and stuff in Vegas and in other places. And their owner of their gym is starting his own point fighting tournaments here locally as well, where it's the goal in those point fighting tournaments is not to knock people out. It's just to touch, and it's skill, right? It's not violence. It's a skill thing. So, we had a good representation from their gym and from other gyms. I think it's really crucial in the development of the Utah fighters to get more reps that maybe not go on their MMA record. We saw some really good fighters like Tristan McDonald, who's a collegiate wrestler, do kickboxing, force himself. So there's a lot of advantages, but yeah, so we'll be doing those more often. But like when we're in Bear Lake, a couple weeks later, we'll be at the temple doing kickboxing Muay Thai because it pulls from a different crowd.
Yeah, we thought that it was going to split our crowd more than it actually did. We actually were a bit more surprised that, we thought, we can fit 800 to 1,000 people. We thought we were getting 400 to 500 per show, and that was just going to be it. But it ended up working out a lot better.
We're closer to 700 each show.
I was going to say Saturday just seemed, I don't want to say better. I felt the energy.
So one thing that was interesting was Saturday. One, we closed off the upper balconies to force everybody down low. We're going to discuss doing that possibly for the MMA shows to make sure that the lower bowl gets filled in first and full, and then the upper balcony will go on sale and it'll be just overflow to get in. 1. 2 is so I've never been a fan of doing kickboxing Muay Thai. And the reason is, in a cage, that's not the way the sport was designed to be competed in. And it's different. When you're in a ring and you can put somebody in a corner and they can't circle off, it causes more exchanges and more firefights, that was those building moments when you felt that energy in there. We have our cage, which is a big circular cage. You can't pin people in a corner in a circle cage, or even in an octagon or whatever else. Having those corners in those rings and the angles of fighting make those exchanges pretty exciting. So I think that drew a lot of energy, and I'm really grateful that we had a ring to try that in, because it made me realize I really do enjoy kickboxing Muay Thai. It just needs to be in a ring and not in a cage.
I was going to say, I wonder if for me as a viewer, right, as a as a fan of the mixed martial arts, having that preview of the kickboxing was really nice. The Mamon, having the Mamon fight was almost like a precursor of what to expect for Saturday night. And I feel like as a fan, that's a moment to be like, Jackson to be like, hey, if you like that, come tomorrow because we got more of that.
That was the goal. That was the goal. Jacob Baird lost his original opponent due to illness. And Jacob's a really tough kid to match. He has an extensive Muay Thai background himself and wrestled in college. And so there's not a lot of people that are raising their hands to fight him, really. And his coach said he needs a test. He needs a tough fight. And it's like,
you got it.
I got this kid, Ricky Mamon. Ricky's such a gangster. He was in Hawaii, and they weren't even here, and they weren't planning on coming back for a few weeks. And his dad just said, well, maybe we'll come back early. I said, hey, are you around? And he's like, no, we're in Hawaii. I was like, oh, dang. All right, no worries. And he goes, why? What's going on? And I said, I just lost. I need a 145er for this, and maybe he'll go up, to like 150 or whatever. And he's like, no, Ricky's like in preparation for to make his pro debut in MMA because he vacated the featherweight title and getting ready to go pro. He said his weight's low because he needs to drop to be a bantamweight for when he goes pro. So he was already not walking very heavy. So he's like, he can do it. And I was like, well, you're in Hawaii. And he's like, well, just come home early. No worries. Like Coach Serge he's one of my favorites. And he's like, you guys do a lot for us. Like it's not a big deal. And they got on a plane, they booked it, they came home on a Wednesday, weighed in on Thursday, fought Friday.
Wow.
And then probably went right back to Hawaii.
And now he's back in Hawaii and expecting his first child with his girlfriend.
Oh,
so they
congrats.
So they just posted they just posted all the pictures. So yeah, like Ricky, like those Mamon brothers, like that's gangster stuff. And his dad, Coach Serge, I'm gonna start calling him the General because he has those boys training like 8 hours a day. It's wild if you follow him. Go follow Coach Serge and the Mamon brothers Instagram pages. But Coach Serge had it like they're walking through the airport and Ricky's he was walking and his dad's like, this is the life you chose. Like, remember, like, this is what you chose. Like, you said you wanted to be a fighter. This is what fighters do. Like, I'm sure it wasn't convenient or whatever, but his dad's like, then that's, fight. I always say that now fighters fight. And like, dude, it was for Ricky in kickboxing. My goodness.
That kick, man. That first opening kick, I was like, sheesh.
Yeah. Dude, and I give a ton of credit to Jacob too. I think most people just stay down.
I would have.
I'm
good.
I get back up.
Oh man, well, you hit me with these kicks, man.
Yeah, it's like why'd you kick me so hard, bro?
Thank you for putting the shit pants on.
So yeah, they did. Yeah, and yeah, he put on a good show, and Jacob was super tough and a fun dance partner. So, yeah, that was a highlight for me that weekend. But that was kind of the point because we were talking about moving that to the kickboxing card. And it kind of got messy with like transferring tickets, like Jacob's fans and stuff like that, transferring their tickets from Friday to Saturday and whatever that looked like. And so we were just like, let's just make it like it's going to be fun. Like Ricky and Jacob's going to be fun. There's a 100% chance that fight was going to be a lot of fun. The card was already short. Let's just leave it and let them give it a little taste of what they're going to get Saturday afternoon. And I mean, they delivered.
It's been a month since those guys fought. Are they anything in the future for them with Fierce for either one of those guys?
Jacob is currently waiting on an opportunity to fight for a Muay Thai title in California, and Ricky, we're in talks with their manager, who's has some opportunities for him elsewhere as well. So we're just trying to figure out what makes sense. But I've been pretty vocal with them and their team that I would like them to make their pro debut with Fierce, if not on the same card, at least have both of them. I love having those boys around and. Like they always put on a show. They're super grateful, appreciative.
Good fan base too.
And they show up to fight every time.
Every time they walk out, they don't walk out, they dance out. Yeah. And I'm like, don't you get gassed? Like it's a 3-minute song.
Not when you're training 8 hours a day.
Dude, yeah. It's their culture. They're sharing their culture with us. It's cool. I had some people message me like, man, that was really long. Like the first little bit was cool, but then it goes a little long. But man, to be totally honest, when I looked over at Coach Serge and Bobby recording Ricky and Ricky's little brother, that's Mad Max, You can follow him too. He's a little savage. He's a cool kid. I really like Max. But, you know, and I watch them recording them doing the dance. And, dude, they're just beaming. Mm-hmm. It's like they're sharing their culture with us. And it's really cool. And I thought that was a really cool moment.
It's a beautiful moment. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, damn, aren't you getting tired? The thing about those brothers, man, they're not just pity pat. They go 100%. Everything they throw is calculated and power. I never see just touches. It's always bam, 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 bam.
Yeah. No. Cam Wela, I think, is a little bit more, but like he can be calculated. But I mean, they have one gear, and that is violence. And but they're both the nicest, calmest, appreciative, respectful young men. Like, I'm a big fan of them as people in life, but I like seeing them in the cage. That's for sure.
There's a lot of people out here that when you talk about outside the cage, like good people, I think we have a solid group of fighters that exhibit that, of like just good people that you're happy that are fighting for the promotion, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, there are people that have reached out that fought for other promotions, whether past ones that aren't around anymore or whatever locally, and they've reached out and they just have a background or whatever that maybe I know a little bit about them that I don't, and I just no thing's not interested. Like, we do try and bring in, you know, good people to the show too. I think it's what makes Fierce special and part of the environment. Like, it's not always just about. We have plenty of fighters that want to fight for us.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they're the ones representing us, like, to their fan base. So, yeah, we're kind of picky sometimes.
We're on the. I mean, we're on the same page with a lot of that type of stuff. But like, just the crowd they bring and whatever. Like, we know who we want, and there's a handful of people that we're okay if they fight elsewhere.
How did the Marcus Wing production happen?
That was kind of a Rob Scott thing too. Rob does the FightCon production for him.
Oh, okay.
So it was kind of a bit of a non-negotiable for Rob going into the temple.
The executive boxing. The executive boxing night. Like, Marcus has done all those.
Gotcha.
And so when we were collabing and deciding, you know, using all the same things for the weekend, he was kind of like,
this is our guy. This
is our guy, and it's like non-negotiable. Like, no offense, I don't want to use the guys that you guys use. Like, this is my guy.
Yeah. And
so then we use that as okay, that's your non-negotiable. We have some other non-negotiables, and it made it really easy. And I think it was a win-win for everybody all the way around. And
yeah, working with Marcus was a good experience, and especially with all the chaos. I had a couple like just nitpicky things, but at the end of the day, like, I mean, he kicked ass.
He's a professional.
I mean, in the middle of all of the entire weekend, he had to explode all of his equipment so that we could move the cage out, get the ring in.
Oh my!
Transition, you know, like, it was a whole entire thing, and he just handled it
like it was nothing.
Like, it was nothing. He just knew what was up, and he made it happen.
I wanted to shout him out because it was a reunion for me. Because he used to DJ, and so I've known him for damn near 15, 20 years almost. And so this was the first time I actually got to work with him. So it was like, man, this is the reason why I love what we do, is because of those moments where it's like, man, I haven't seen you in forever, man. Let's have a good night. And it went, production-wise, it just went really well. I mean, there's so much that can happen in an old building, right? We can break a circuit, everything. I always get worried about being too hot on the circuit.
And he was smart, and he was prepared. Like, he brought in a generator.
Yeah.
Like, he brought in, he's like, we got to have it. Like, we got to make sure. Because, like, I mean, could you imagine? I can't even imagine, like, a worse situation than, like, a circuit going and, like.
Oh, I hope it never happens.
You know, but Marcus is our guy going forward. Like,
okay, nice.
So that's our setup going forward now. Like, we all loved working with them, and, like, we liked our previous connection, but based off who they had some ties to, we decided, like, it would be a good thing to, nothing with them, but some who introduced us to them. So we decided, like, to just go with Marcus going forward. So, I mean, Marcus will be there in Price and at the Maverick Center and
that's exciting.
Up in Bear Lake and all our events.
Damn.
Yeah, he's kind of turned into our guy.
That's awesome, man. Salute to Marcus. Fourth, was it 4FX?
4FX.
Yeah. 4FX. Yeah,
salute to 4FX.
4FX Productions. So
awesome weekend. Great fights, great fighters. was my first kickboxing event, and I'm really excited to hear that we're going to be doing more of those. Salute to homeboy from the pit that had probably the highlight of the night, knocking homeboy almost out of the ring. That was
Lucas
pretty.
Puno.
Yeah, younger dude, and man, just really good performance. One thing that I pay attention to is the crowd, right? And to see how much support that guy had.
Yeah, he sold a lot of tickets. Talon Carvalho's brother, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Half brother, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, you guys know how I love Price, Utah.
She's doing everything right.
This kid is really, really difficult to deal with.
Could be queuing up for a rematch in a few minutes.
Brendan Myers back on top. Jason Ergel has done it. And this guy's got some hands, and he's got power in his hands. Trying to get under the chin. She does. Hannah Silva mounts the comeback. That was an impressive performance.
All right, I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about your fight. BKFC 74. Zack Partridge went viral.
Yeah, we had a good viral moment there.
Man, I don't know how. I know the man you are, and in the short years that I've known you, and you don't show emotion. You don't ride a high. You don't ride a low. You're very much a medium guy. But I'm gonna ride the high for you.
All right.
What the freak, man? Like, you went crazy. 8 seconds, man. Said records and stuff, man. That was awesome. And you were there live, right?
Yeah, I was there.
As his best friend, you're seeing it live. His family. I seen somebody had a cutout of your head.
That was Kirsten, one of our ring girls.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Her daughter had that. They had that made, so that was fun.
By the way, somebody wrote on a comment of one of our podcasts. They said, I thought that was Ryback you were talking to. Now I gotta see it. You kind of look like Ryback a
That's
little bit.
funny. I wish I was that young.
Yeah, right. I mean, get some more juice in you. You'll be all right.
For real.
But Saygen, as a best friend, as coworker, business partner, everything, to see your man on one of the biggest stages in Utah walk out and put on a performance in his debut in Bare Knuckle, what was going through your head?
I always sweat when I really know people, especially Zach, when I watch him fight. But the last time I drove down to St. George, he only lasted 2 seconds or whatever.
It was 24.
24 seconds.
24.
What a left hand, by the way. I
I'm
think it was a left.
I'm just dude, I mean, I enjoy it. I'm glad it doesn't last that long, but also come on.
Drove to St. George.
Give me a show. So, yeah, I mean, I just sat there sweating as I usually do and just waited for something to happen. And I mean, the entire area that I was in, we were all rooting for Zach. So, I mean, it was crazy. The energy was just wild. Everybody just is literally jumping out of their seats. There's beer falling over and there's fries flying through the air. It's just crazy. And then, yeah, Zach's just in there all stoic and silent, just yeah, I knew I could do that. All right. Let's get this interview over with. I got a wife and kids to hang out with.
Yeah.
I got a show I'm promoting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got shit to do in a week.
I was literally dealing with the Anthony Castro fallout in the locker room before my fight, and that night after the fight, and then all day Mother's Day.
I got to tell you, your post-fight interview was very much I don't care about this right now. I'm dealing with other shit. That's what came across. And I hope the people don't take that as you're not happy, because I know you're happy you got the win, but you do have a lot of. I mean, Mother's Day weekend, you got 2 promotions, your 2 events you're doing. You got fallouts of a card that's went from 12 to 8.
Yeah.
So a lot going on.
Yeah, people don't understand, especially and sometimes I don't even understand what he has to go through just with the politics of the fight community, the different types of people, the different types of personalities, the coaches, the actual fighters, their managers. I mean, he does more talking than anybody that I know.
It's so dumb.
So I'm sure that he may seem emotionless, but you kind of have to remain in that just neutral position in order to deal with all the different types of personalities that he deals with. So I know he was stoked on the inside when he got the knockout, but I know that he was also thinking about a million other things.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on with him, but it was so it wasn't enough. Somebody told me, they're dude, he's I'm going to be honest, I didn't really like that you stood over him. As you when you knocked him out, you just stood over him. And I was I wanted him to get up. I wanted to count and let him like get up and like keep. I wasn't done. So
after 8 seconds, I was
we
assuming you're not done.
We're done.
How did that fight even come about?
I think we talked about it. So like I was trying to find on Tough Enough actually their card a couple weeks before that, and they said they'd get me on. And when I get about 6 weeks out and I don't have an opponent, I was like, man. And so I hit up BKFC because like they've sponsored our Maverick Center shows. I cornered Ben Moa the first time they came, and so I got to know the matchmakers a little bit, got to know a couple people on their staff a little bit, and I messaged them, and I was basically like, hey, like, I have a manager, but like, you can deal with him, but if you got another spot for a local on the card, like I'll sell tickets and you know, put on a show. Like, I would love the opportunity to fight at the Maverick Center. So, and he was like, well, we actually just had one open up because another local fighter just dropped off due to an injury. So, like, okay. So I put him in, and they knew my manager, like my manager Roman, like he's had a bunch of guys fight it for him before. So I just let him take it over.
I love that you practice what you preach. You know, on you're doing a really cool thing on TikTok, on social media, where you're literally talking about like some of your pet peeves and some of the things that fighters and people that are fans of the industry don't understand about the industry. And something that you talked about is taking these last minute fights, right?
Yeah.
And not only the person taking the fight last minute, but the person receiving the fight last minute.
Yeah.
And showing them like, yeah, as much as the person stepping up is a great dude, so is the dude saying, I'll fight regardless, you know?
Yeah.
And you I mean, it sounds like you stepped up and the guy took the fight, wasn't expecting you.
Well, so he was my third opponent, but like I had him for I think at least 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Like, but I went through 3 different opponents saying yes to being offered multiple people, saying yes to all of them. I had 3 agree to. One of them had an MMA fight 4 weeks before the show. He got knocked out. I actually just saw he's on the BKFC card this weekend in Albuquerque. So who knows? Maybe if he wins, maybe we'll get to run it. And then the other one, he had a tattoo that BKFC's PR team said was offensive, and they won't put him on.
Oh, what was it? Do you know what it was?
Yeah, so he got coon dog.
Oh no.
Tattooed across his stomach.
Oh no.
Because apparently where he lives, like a coon dog is like, that's like a G. Like he's in the South, and like the coon dog, like, I mean, it doesn't sound good and whatever, but I mean, he's like, dude, they have a fair there, like coon dog days.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
if you're a coon dog, like you're a fighter, like that's what they call him down there in the South, wherever he's from. And
yeah, you come out west, that
dude,
means totally different.
Sure, you know, I was like, well, let me knock him out, like whatever, but you know, so that was really weird because I got a contract, signed it, everything. I thought we were good to go, and my manager hits me, and I was like, so what's the deal? And he's like, well, he sent in his picture for the poster, and he has a tattoo that BKFC doesn't like, and I'm like, how bad is it if BKFC doesn't like it?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I don't know why I thought it was a swastika.
That's what I'm saying.
Like something bad,
but it just said coon dog across the stomach.
I get it. They don't want the bad press. But
BKFC, they're funny what they're okay with, and I mean, dude, you got, I mean, Connor, who's Connor. Like,
Yeah,
I don't even get into that, but you know, he's an owner, and like, dude, they have ring girls and the G strings, but then like they told me like, well, my first walkout song, they told me that they couldn't play it because of language issues, and it's a family friendly show, and I'm like, bro, did you see the main event? Did you see all that blood?
Yeah,
like. Family friendly.
To be fair, Zach, I said the same thing about what we do. Like,
let's keep it clean. Out of here, though. Like, we tried, but like,
no, you're right. You're right.
Like, I'm like, family friendly. I'm like, goodness gracious. Okay.
Who'd you walk out to? DMX?
Yeah, that's my last 3 fights. It's been
Rain, right?
It was Rain 3 fights ago, and then the last 2 is X gonna give it to you. That's worked. That I have 2 fights this year. I've walked out to that both times, and I'm a combined 58 seconds in those 2 fights. So I think we're gonna stick with that. For a minute.
We did have other. Hold on. What did your wife think about you taking this fight, bare knuckle? Was she like, "Don't do it," I'd rather do MMA or what?
No, she told me, this was news to me, because I was like, she's like, are we really doing this? I was like, yep, like we are. And and I told her, because BKFC does pay considerably well over MMA, and while obviously, like, I'm not going to disclose what I made, it was well worth it, especially if you consider like what you made per second. But
damn, for real, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, like what I got paid for. I mean, the whole fight camp, right? But like, I mean, it was, like they make it well worth my time. That like, and I remember she goes, we're not really doing this. I was like, do you hate money? Like, yeah, it was enough money that I was very like, even if I would have got knocked out, I'd have been like, it's worth it.
Yeah.
So, but then she told me something about 3 or 4 weeks before the fight. She's like, I knew you were going to do this the night you came home from cornering Ben. She's like, I've known like this was coming ever since, because you went there that night and you were like, that was pretty cool. And she was like, he's going to do it one day. And my wife, like, she knows me. She's very supportive and she's awesome, but she also knows, like, when I kind of lock in on something, like, I'm just going to do it. So,
well, you did it.
I locked in.
You locked in and you got it done.
Do it again.
How you celebrate after that? Do you celebrate?
So after all my fights, like when I was back fighting at Stillfist and stuff, I'd always stop at Taco Bell in Centerville on the way home, eat a couple chalupas, and
Taco Bell.
Dude, I love Taco Bell.
Gosh.
I love Taco Bell.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, that 2 o'clock. But I drink like when I'll have like a few shots and then be like Taco Bell ready.
Yeah, I feel like you need that to like neutralize the shit that you're eating.
And I'm one of the scumbags that orders a Mexican pizza. Like,
what's wrong with you? No, I mean, dude, I just. I mean, celebrate how? Like what? Like it's.
He looks at his bank account and gets a good night's sleep.
I mean, I know it's just.
So wifey takes it.
No,
it's so she hits it the app and.
Dude,
like,
I'm the spender out of us two, so I don't. It's not that, but no, it's I don't know, man. Like I'm a dad. Like I post, but it's like dude, you know what? One of my teammates, so Ammon Garcia, told me this. I was gonna make a TikTok about it. But Ammon Garcia said, I wanted to say this in person because I felt like if I texted you, it would come off as wrong. But he's like, it's really cool what you're doing because you weren't even supposed to be here. Like, you didn't even start. I didn't even know what MMA was 10 years ago. I've only been training for 8. He's like, you're a pro fighter. You're 1-1 as a pro now. You held an amateur title. You just had an 8-second knockout in BKFC. Like, you weren't even, like, you didn't start when you're teens or your early 20s, like when people are trying to make a career out of it. Like, you're just doing it because you love it. Like, you weren't even supposed to be here. So he's like, that's really cool. And it's true. So I don't know, like, celebrate, like, and just go home and be dad.
It's just an expensive hobby, dude.
Yeah. I mean, is it expensive? Because I got paid pretty well to do it. But dude, I mean, and it's like, it's my job. And it's just like, dude, like, who cares? Like, dude, it was next day, Mother's Day, and we got a double show this, like, in 7 days. Like, people are like, hey, are you enjoying it? No, I'm not. I'm not enjoying it. We have a show this weekend. Mm-hmm. We got to go put it on.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know.
I love that we have a promoter that literally jumped into MMA and bare knuckle now. Like, how many promotions can say that?
None.
Yeah, I don't think.
You know what I mean?
I don't
Only
know
one.
any.
Ain't that crazy?
I'm the only. I believe I'm the only active fighter / promoter that I know.
That's wild. Think about that. Like, that's that.
So if any promoters want to do a promoter versus promoter fight, no.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at like the type of fighting that you have done. I mean, are you going to jump into the boxing ring? Is that something that you would want?
No,
you don't want to box.
No.
Not even on executive night?
No.
Well,
they can't. Those executive nights, none of those guys have had previous training. But I would, I'd do that. But I went to a boxing gym, straight boxing gym, and got whooped by this Venezuelan kid. 2-0, pro boxer, probably 6'2", walks around 195, cuts down to 168. Monster. I thought he broke my nose. He beat the brakes off of me in those sparring rounds. And I was like, what are you guys doing here? Like, this isn't sparring. You guys are just fighting. Like, the Mamone brothers rolled through, actually. Both of them rolled through. And I got to spar with Camuela a little bit. And we had good work. But, like, dude, Camuela and that Venezuelan kid, dude, they just fought for, like, 2-minute rounds. They were just throwing bombs at each other. And boxers, like, that's how they get ready, is they just bang. And they're just boxing hard. And I kind of got a little pissed, actually. And I was getting out of the ring, and the coach is like, yeah, you got to get that work in. It's getting work. I'm like, no, dog, this ain't work. Like, this is fighting. I get paid to fight. I'm not going to get paid to do this. Like, this ain't work. Like, you got a paycheck for me? This ain't work, dude. Get out of here. So, yeah, nope, not doing that. Because those guys are good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, dude, Jake Paul, that's why he keeps winning. He keeps calling out these MMA fighters.
He's fought some boxers.
He had lower level ones.
Fury's a pro box, like a pro. He had 7 fights. I think at
he
the time
lost.
I mean, it's still pro.
Yeah, but he lost. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
dude, the MMA fighters that think that they can go over to boxing, like, all the time that I've spent learning how to kickbox, wrestle, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and box, they've taken all that time and they're just working on their boxing. I'll never catch up to them. So no, I have no interest in boxing.
That's a good point. I never thought about it like that.
But I will absolutely do bare knuckle boxing again.
Well, I'm sure they're gonna call you. I'm sure after a performance like that, I'm sure the Partridge name is on their list of guys. Somebody else that fought again was Dominico. He actually got a win. Who else? Mike Jones got a win. Ben Moa got a win. Bradshaw got a win.
I think all the Utah guys, except for the bucked up guy, right?
Yeah.
What was it? Is it Daniel?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan. I mean, but again, another corporate guy that said, "I'll do it."
Yeah, and people don't remember him. He fought for Showdown back in the day.
Really?
And he was a two-time state championship wrestler from Clearfield High School. Fought at 155 in Showdown. And dude, he was a kind of a beast back in the day. So that was cool to see him get in there and do that, get out of his comfort zone. A lot of respect for him. Like, he did that for the experience, which is cool. I mean, this is what I do it for. It's just the experience. I don't need to do this. Like, what? I'm not going anywhere. I'm not winning a BKFC title. I'm not going to the UFC. I'm not like, I just do it for fun and for the experience. So,
you know, what'd be funny, Saygen, is if he ends up winning a BKFC title. I'm gonna take this clip.
I'm not, because you know who's gonna go get it? It's Mike Jones. He's going to go get that 185 belt, dude.
Yeah.
Mike's going to go get that 85 belt. He says fight news coming soon. It's not with Fearson.
Yeah, I saw that.
I believe he has a contract from BKFC. I'm breaking news. Hopefully when this releases, it's all out and I know who he's fighting. And dude, I'm telling you, like, Mike is tough. He's long. His style and kind of where he goes mentally for fights, and a little bit of it's personal, so I won't share. I don't want to speak on behalf of him. You should have him on and maybe talk about it.
Mike knows this always open for him.
There is something about BKFC that I think we see the best version of Mike. He learned a valuable lesson in that first one where he reminded me, like, when I asked him for some advice, he's like, the pace is different, and he goes, that first one, he kind of just gassed himself out by just trying to force a finish. You watch the second one, he drops the dude, and the dude was fine, and he's like, oh, this guy's not getting knocked out. And then he just fought smart and just whooped him for 5 rounds. This one, dude, he's figuring out how to fight bare knuckle, dude, and no disrespect to the champ Josh Dyer, who just won the 85 title that night, but you go watch his fight, you go watch how Mike fights. Mike is a stylistic nightmare for him. Mike can win that 185 title at bare knuckle. I absolutely believe that.
What does that mean for the MMA community in Utah if we do get a BKFC title holder?
That would be cool.
This will be the first big title holder in a promotion, right? Like, of course, we have divisional title holders and whatnot, but we haven't had a UFC champion.
Really close. Jeremy Horn fought for it.
Of course. Very close.
Court McGee winning the Ultimate Fighter is probably the biggest trophy a Utah-born guy has brought.
Absolutely.
back.
So us having a BKFC, which BKFC is a pretty new promotion.
I believe I would rank them the third biggest fight promotion in the world at this point, though.
Ain't that crazy? So what does that mean? If and when Mike Jones does hold this belt for BKFC, what should that mean for our community here in Utah?
I mean, I think it'll definitely shine a broader spotlight on everything, but I mean, that's the $1 million question, man.
I mean,
is how to crack
put
that
some
code.
respect on our Utah fighters, dude. Like,
Yeah.
It's true though. Like, I mean, I know, like, I have a lot of respect for like the Vegas guys, and there's other gyms that we pull from. You know, they're in California and whatever. And I think, I mean, I believe a lot of them view Utah as a step behind, and we're not. We have good talent, but there also does need to be a shift as well. Again, an emphasis on the kickboxing, Muay Thai stuff. You look at the sports and the growth in California and Vegas and Florida and all these, Texas and all these other places. Dude, a lot of those amateurs, they're getting 15 to 20 amateur fights in boxing, kickboxing, and jiu-jitsu tournaments and getting those reps before they even make their amateur debut. So that's part of what we're building, that we need to kind of catch up to them.
Amateur or pro debut?
Amateur.
Wow.
You know, so like, dude, you'll get like some of those kids. I mean, the foreign guys are another really good example. They'll come to Vegas to like start their fight career, and dude, they'll have like 30 plus kickboxing matches in some of these third world countries. You know, and like the fight experience it is not apples to debuters for some people, and it shows sometimes, right? And that experience, I think, is what we need, is those guys that have those reps and experience, and they come all the way up and all the way through. And then when it's time to break through, they have the reps and the experience to deal with it on the higher levels. And I think that's a little bit what some of the problem has been of getting one of our guys to break through. So having a guy like Mike who wrestled and he has the reps and the experience, he knows what he needs exactly, because of the reps and experience and competition experience, exactly what it takes to get there. I mean, he held our belt, but I mean, it sucks because of his record. He took some short notice fights that he probably shouldn't have, and probably didn't have a manager that was getting the right matchups for him or whatever, and pushing him other places. So his record wasn't super sexy. But dude, I watch every Dana White Contender Series, UFC. I watch all the Bellator. Dude, I still wake up in the middle of the night and watch ONE FC fight sometimes. Dude, Mike can't just hang with those guys. He can beat some of those guys. Like, he can beat those guys. Like, he's good enough. So I think it just puts a spotlight. It's like, you know, anybody can win a fight on any given day. And it's like, dude, Mike, we have guys here that can hang with some of the best in the world. And Mike's definitely one of them. And I think that brings a positive light to Fierce and Utah and the small town and price that he, you know, came from. I think it's cool.
How many of the guys on the roster now do you think they get inspired to go and do the bare knuckle route? Because just like you corner Ben, right? And then you were like, man, I want to try this. How many, and have you talked to anybody that's like, man, I want to do that?
Yeah, I do. Cause like, I mean, there's a whole rabbit hole that you can go down with this, but you have the piece of paper right there. And as I look at it and stuff, it's like some people are made for it and some people maybe aren't, you know? I don't really know. I mean, I got hit once. I was talking to Jerome Hatch about it. It's like, I talked to Mike about it. In the moment, it doesn't really hurt any worse to get hit without a glove. Like, I don't know. Like, we're fighters. Like, we've already accepted that this is a fight and we're going to get hit, whether the glove's on it or off. Like, I don't think it changes a whole lot.
What's the rule difference? Like, is there any difference of like a rule count or anything like that? I mean, not rule count, but like, obviously you can't throw no elbows.
Yeah.
Is there any
it's
other
just
rules?
Boxing. It's boxing. The clinch, right? You can only clinch with one hand. You can't clinch with two. So if you clinch them, the other hand has to stay active as well. If you lock hands or body lock at all, like, it's supposed to be a break. So, but the one-handed clinch rule is kind of interesting.
production wise, that was your first time making a walk like that, Maverick Center. What was your thoughts like that?
I think BKFC, in my opinion, over being a fight promotion, they're a content company. That's what people are. That's what their investors are investing in, is because even the not good fights, they're all entertaining. Dude, people getting knocked out. Like, it's freaking awesome to watch. Like, even if you're the most casual of casual fans, like, when you know somebody's about to get knocked out, like, you're going to watch it. Like, all those reels that come up or whatever, you know? So, they're cash cow, why they're building the sport of bare knuckle. Really, like, they're a big content company making highlights, right? I mean, the UFC, very similar. Like, the UFC makes a lot of money off their reels and YouTube shorts and all that type of stuff. Like, that's why they're constantly putting out content, repackaging all their highlights and putting out, it's for eyeballs and reels and getting paid off that, and then getting their sponsors the viewership that they want, and so they can keep re-upping and up those prices, you know.
Well, that's the number one thing Dana White says, and with Power Slap, it's like, we're out trending the NFL, the NBA, everybody. He said we get the most views off Power Slap.
Yep. So, because they go viral, and now we consume everything on our phones, and that's how you can consume that. And a lot of these companies, I mean, if I was a manager, I would not, and these fighters are fighting for better fighter pay, they should be asking not for a purse increase, but a cut of the monetization revenue from their highlights. That's where the money could get really good for fighters, if they can get into their contracts that they get a piece of that pie.
Yeah, you think about it, it's just like a jersey, right? Like, if you're selling a jersy, my name's on the back. Yeah. You're selling my clip. I'm the one doing the content.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? That's where the fighters. So it's like, hey, if the UFC was like, hey, yeah, we pay our fighters well if you go make cool moments. Because that's the other thing, right? Is this is where bare knuckle gets really interesting, is the UFC. If you watch Ben Rothwell, who's the heavyweight champ at BKFC right now, he made a great point on a podcast a week or two ago. And he pointed out that BKFC could have the ability to surpass the UFC at some point from the casual fan perspective, because it's more entertaining. Because what dominates in the UFC?
Content.
Wrestling.
Oh,
right?
well, yeah,
in the cage, right?
Yeah.
Well, most casual fans find that boring.
Yeah.
Right? Like, nobody really appreciated Khabib when he was smashing everybody, because he was just wrestling them, and people want to see violence and they want to see knockouts.
Yeah.
And like, there's been rumors that, like, Khabib has like openly said that, like, Dana pretty much said, like, I'm not signing any more Dagestani wrestlers from your guys' team to the UFC. I'm not interested, because like, you guys would probably just come in and try and wrestle everybody and be champion in every division. And that's not good for the sport. And it's not good for viewership, and it's not good for the fans. And if you notice, like, the UFC, Colby Covington was going to get cut. Why? He was a boring wrestler. Right? The UFC has cut very good fighters that are wrestling based, that aren't finishers, but can pretty much just control you and ragdoll you for however long the fight goes. Like, what works for Merab is he's a wrestler, but he's really funny and entertaining, right? That's what works for him. But Ben Rothwell pointed out, it's like, that's why the UFC cuts guys, and people are like, why? He's winning, he's doing this. Because he doesn't bring eyeballs. His style doesn't bring eyeballs. And the UFC wants strikers. That's why Israel Adesanya got a push. That's why Jorge Masvidal, Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor, Sean O'Malley, like, those guys get the push because they create highlights when they knock people out. Everybody watches that.
So how do you find that balance? I mean, you guys be in a promotion, right? Like, obviously you want moments, but you also want to put on good fights. Like, how do you find the balance between staying true to martial arts and giving people a good chance, following records and putting up good matchups, and also keeping this thing entertaining?
We bring Muay Thai into the mix. I mean, just like you were saying, like, the Muay Thai energy on Saturday was vastly different than the MMA energy. Yeah. Like, you're standing and banging, or you have the guys that are like Zach, and they can watch jiu-jitsu and be like intrigued by it, where somebody that has no idea, it just looks like two guys rolling around on the ground. But Muay Thai, it's like everyone understands what's going on there.
Yeah, I mean, even Vigil came off with a nice, was it a Kimura?
So it's Americana.
Yeah. But even then, I was very entertained by that. You know, he didn't stand and bang the whole time. And that's what I would thought he was going to do because that dude's just an animal, violent. You talk about violence, that guy's a violent guy. And he actually got a submission that was still entertaining, right? So I think that it's hard to please everybody. You can't please everybody. You're not going to be able to. If you do, it's not going to stay true to what you guys believe in.
I mean, there is a balance because we are a show and it is entertainment value. And, you know, I've had some people ask, like, why do you give him so many fights? Or why do you do this? And why do you do that? It's like they're entertaining. Like I get people ask me all the time, why do you still give Jerome fights? Because he's either going to get knocked out or they're going to knock him out. One of his past opponents tags us all the time. Let me fight for your belt. Let me fight Jerome again. When he beat Jerome, tags us all the time. Dude, he freaking humped his leg for 3 rounds. It was the most boring 15 minutes of my life. If either of them knew I'm not trying to diss on anybody, but if either of them were like, it had any sort of like slight advanced of higher level white belt jiu-jitsu, they could have just got up and just, you know, done their thing. And it was like, that's what like people pay to watch Jerome stand and bang. That's why, dude, he's made for bare knuckle.
Oh, yes, he is.
But you get a guy that, what actually really bothered me is he ran his mouth about how he's going to knock him out, and Jerome hit him once, and they grappled for the rest of the fight. And he's like, bring me back. Let me fight for the belt. Dude, I'm not interested in you. You're boring. If you're going to run your mouth and say you're going to knock somebody out, you better stand there and at least try. I'd have more respect for you if you would have got knocked out. And I would have probably brought you back. But I'm not interested. And we're managed by the same person now. Like my manager and that guy's manager. My manager was like, hey, he really wants to come back and fight Jerome for the belt or whatever. I was like, tell him to kick rocks. Because I know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to get hit once, and if he doesn't get knocked out, he's going to freaking hump Jerome's leg for 15 minutes, or for a belt, 25. Nobody wants to watch that.
But a fighter can evolve, Zach. Maybe this dude just got brilliant.
He's 40 years old. I'm good, dude. I'm good. I know what he's about now. He showed what he's about. He ran his mouth, said he'd knock him out, and said he'd stand with him, and he didn't. Like, kick rocks. Have fun in California or wherever you live.
I tried to save you, my man. I tried. Hey,
so that's how though. Like there is entertainment value, dude. If people are boring, and I'll give a ton of credit to the Utah fighters. I don't think that there's one Utah-based fighter though that I'm like, I'm not interested in. You're boring. There's one for sure. But there's a few. But
it's like as he's listening,
they're actually
thinking about it.
But like dude, people want to see exciting fights. If you're going to be a grappler, you better be a finisher. You better be David Kim, who can do sick stuff in the grappling. You know, or you better be violent like Teague Vigil. Like when you get on top, like Teague now has like his last 2 wins. You know, he's put 2 in a row now, and like his first pro win was violent elbows on the ground. Drop the dude, get down, and just start dropping elbows on his face till he knocked him out cold. This one, he about ripped his arm out of its socket with that Americana. Like, you be violent with it, and like people pay to watch violence, not people humping each other's legs.
Speaking of Teague, what's going on at One Hit? I feel like you guys, the last 12 months, have just blossomed.
Dude, we've been that forever.
Of course. Because you're in the gym every day with these guys.
Dude, we've been that forever. We've been that for since before I was there. Like, we were just, a lot of it was at Still Fist, and before that, Showdown, and now Fierce is on the scene, and a lot of one-hit guys hit me up pretty regularly and tell me they want to be on cards, and so we get them on.
You guys are doing some really cool things over there. And I was actually checking your guys' website because while you guys are kind of far from me, I was looking at your kids class for him this summer. I say him for the listeners. My son's in the back of the room, and he did boxing, and he wants to try something else. And so I'm like, all right, well, let's try some jiu-jitsu. Let's go to MMA gym. They have different classes.
Where do you guys live?
We're in Murray. So, but we were driving to Bluffdale. Bluffdale every day. So for boxing, so it's definitely Layton's definitely closer than Bluffdale.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay.
I think it's about a 20-30 minute drive. Either way.
I mean, our jiu-jitsu program, Gustavo Rodriguez is our jiu-jitsu professor. He also runs jiu-jitsu at UCTC in Salt Lake or Gladiator Fight Academy, more West Salt Lake. If you guys are in Murray, you're pretty close to Sierra MMA.
There's the one in Sandy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one because there's a Fizz right there.
Pedro,
drink.
That's right. Pedro is sick.
Yeah.
He's really good at jiu-jitsu and a really good jiu-jitsu coach.
Laporte goes there, right? And Haro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, you're surrounded by good jiu-jitsu schools. But my oldest son, Hunter, he's getting back into jits and kickboxing a little bit right now. So, come up and roll.
Yeah, I seen your post. You're like, the boys are in the gym.
Yeah.
Does that make you happy when your boys end up going?
When they want to.
Yeah.
I don't. People are like, you want your kids to fight? I absolutely don't. My oldest he's subbing on a 7-on-7 football team the last couple of weeks. And the coaches are like, can we get him to play like tackle football this fall? And I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, unless he wants to. If he was like, Dad, can I play? Then I'd support it. But I am not going to push my kid to play tackle football. I'm good.
Does he have any interest?
Not really right now.
What's going on with baseball then? If he's doing 7-on-7,
he'll do baseball this fall. His baseball season's over. But
he broke his
hand. Yeah, he broke his hand.
I know, but
and then he got 2 games in at the end of the season. So
how'd you
we'll
guys
do fall ball. We had a good team, but early exit in the playoffs.
Gotcha.
Bummer.
Sorry to bring up sensitive subjects.
That's all right.
Okay. We're over. We're coming up on an hour here. Anybody else that we missed on this BKFC 74 that you wanted to touch on? I mean, your teammate Ben Moa.
Walking a highlight reel, bro.
Yeah. Longer than what I wanted.
Yeah.
But man, definitely.
Sometimes Ben can't just be me, you know?
Ben, I want you to come up on the podcast, man. I gotta ask you about an event in 2013. Yeah.
I knew where he was wrong. I mean,
yeah. Trevor Bradshaw.
Fight of the night.
Wow, what a fight, man. Drops him, gets dropped, comes back, wins. That battle right there. I love Bradshaw, man. I think he's
he's a fan favorite for sure.
Definitely.
He's always exciting.
Always exciting, man. So I'm assuming, in the press conference, I was going to have the soundbite, but in the press conference, the chairman, I don't know what his president announced that he loves Utah. He loves the Utah fighters. He loves the Utah audience, and he wants to build the Maverick Center. He wants to keep on building in Utah. He said that he wants to come here, I believe he said 4 to 5 times a year, which is a lot. How do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about BKFC making Utah a priority?
I mean, it helps us, I think. I don't really see it taking away from anything.
Are you sick of podcasts that just interview people with the same questions and gossiping nonsense?
Are you tired of hearing about what's wrong with the world? Can you locate your nearest orphanage?
Who cooked the Last Supper?
R.I.P. Mr. Potato Head.
Seppuku Harakiri.
Where is Mavis Beacon?
This is Hos.
And this is host Beefy.
Listen to the Beans and Rice podcast.
Exclusively in Braille and all streaming platforms.
Patent pending.
If you're a sports athlete looking for a mouthguard to protect your pearly whites, look no further than All Sports Mouthguards.
All Sports Mouthguards, located in West Jordan, Utah. Come visit us, 1385 West, 9000 South in West Jordan, Utah. We offer high quality, made in the USA, custom molded and custom designed mouthguards.
No pukesters helping me to the left, and no pukesters helping me to the right. Didn't need them then, don't need them now.
You are the ex-champion already.
Now this is the way, Tony and David, that you do the figure 4 leg lock.
Do you love wrestling?
Do you believe that Stone Cold Steve Austin is the greatest entertainer of all time?
Or maybe that Shawn Michaels is the sexiest man alive?
Or did you have a thing for Sonny from the years of 1994 to 1996 like I did?
Did you know Yokozuna isn't even Japanese?
If you could count the number of dimples on Rikishi's ass, this podcast is for you.
Follow us, the Figure 4 Podcast on Instagram, at Figure 4 Podcast. And check us out on YouTube.
Do it.
Tell your punk friends about us.
Yeah.
My worry is if you come here so often, it's going to take away from it being special, right? That's kind of like what we see, right? With Fierce. That's, I mean, to my knowledge, that's kind of why Fierce drawn back from going to the Maverick Center so much, right? To build the audience to make it a very special event.
I
mean, yes and no.
If they wanted to come to me and said, "Hey, you put on fights in Utah. Utah's a different market than everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that people don't understand. Like the Utah market versus where else they thrive, Montana, Florida, California, right? Population versus, it's like the ratio between the population and how many people live here and the amount of activities here. Utah has a ton of things that we're always competing with. The market share we are trying to get is we're fighting for the attention of almost every person. Our diehard fan base is just not big enough to like fully sustain like a Maverick Center rotation 4 times a year like we were trying to do. That's what we found.
I think they'll get burned out really quick.
They will get burned. If they try, this is what I believe. The optimal would be if they would come twice a year and then Fierce, we come once and maybe twice a year, the Maverick Center. I think that's about all the community could handle. Because the other reality is I believe Ben is done. His wife told me he was done after the fight. So, but I've heard that before. But like, we don't have Venmo ticket sellers just at every gym. Like, Ben's the biggest ticket seller here in Utah. Bobby King set a lot of records when he was fighting. I don't know if he's done. But like, you go up to Montana and they don't have anything else to do up there.
Yeah.
So like when BKFC goes to Montana, like when they go to Sturgis, 15,000 people will be there.
Sheesh.
You know what I mean? Or in North Dakota, when they go up to Montana, 12,000 people will pull up to one of those spots and they'll sell it out like every time easily. I mean, Utah's just not the market for that, and the Maverick Center is too big to do that. And I mean, I loved being a part of that event, and we had such a better turnout than the second one. The first one was obviously huge, but they also brought in Mike Perry and Eddie Alvarez to headline that card. Like, that was the biggest card they'd ever put on. 5 title fights. We lost the heavyweight one, so we got 4 title fights. That card was massive, and it took that to fill up the Maverick Center, and they didn't even do that in the next 2 shows combined. To put it into perspective, like, Mike Perry's a global icon at this point. Like, they can't bring a global icon 3-4 times a year and expect to sell that place out.
I think there's a diehard, maybe 3,000 people within on the Wasatch Front that are into combat sports. The rest of them, probably more like me and you, where it's just we're casual fans. If something's happening, then we may or may not attend.
He's way more diehard than you, for the record.
Well, sure, but I'm also integrated into it. Yeah. As a fan, I'm on the outside for sure.
Right, but he's in it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You said me and you, like him, like you're down here and he's way up here as a fan.
More as being integrated into it.
Yeah.
But so I don't think that the Maverick Center is realistic for any combat sports.
Correct.
At the end of the day.
Yet. I don't say ever because
something crazy would have to happen.
We just have to keep building.
Exactly.
Right? Like, we build up those stars and build up those fan bases. And so, I mean, I had this conversation earlier today at the gym. If you want to get into like fighter pay and stuff like that and all that, like fighters, the people that are like, the UFC needs to pay their fighters more. The problem is the ones that are worth it are getting paid. It's just that most of the people that are making $12,000 to show, $12,000 to win their entry contract, they are overpaid because they are not worth $12,000 and $12,000 to the UFC, because they could literally fill that spot with 500 other guys and they don't lose a single viewer, right? Like, people tune in to watch the UFC, not those fighters. It's reversed on the regional scene where we are, right? People are tuning in to watch their fighters. A lot smaller is tuning in to watch Fierce FC.
Yeah.
How do you build, I mean, I'm going to use the word star, because We talked about it being entertainment. We talked about fighters bringing in biggest crowds, right? You said Ben's the biggest contributor to the biggest ticket seller in the state. And how crazy is that Ben's only fought in MMA one time in the last, 3-4 years?
Yeah. But
so isn't that crazy? Like, what's the answer to building stars in our MMA community? Is it content? Is it more content? Is it finding athletes that can find this balance of giving us content and having a personality and also being able to show up on a Saturday night?
All of those things.
I mean, it's all the above.
Finding somebody that's respectable, finding somebody that, I mean, yeah, there's you have like your Camp Mausoleos, and he's a respectable guy, a father now, you know, he kind of attracts that demographic. And then you have like your Dom's house. He's fun. He's crazy.
Just a character.
He's outrageous.
Yeah.
He attracts that type of person. So, I mean, yeah, everything you said is a correct answer.
And more fighters need to understand that they're professional athletes, and their brand is just as important as their performance in the cage. And I think we're still at microscopic numbers of the actual fighters and fan bases understanding that. I mean, there's too many fighters now that are just savages and just want to fight. I just want to fight. I don't care about selling tickets. I mean, I did a poll on it, and I was just like, how many of you, like, what are you, for fighters, what are your feelings on selling tickets? Like, yes, I want to make the money. Like, I do it because it's a necessary evil, because that's how you get me fights, right? Or I hate it or wish I didn't have to do it, like, or I just don't care at all. And I mean, it was less than 25% that said, yes, I love it and love making the money. Like, over 75% either view it as a necessary evil or whatever. But it's like, selling tickets is how, like, you get to pick and choose what card you get on, you know? Like,
yeah.
You get somebody like Mike Jones, Joel Haro, Cam Mafaleo. They sell enough tickets that they say, hey, I want to be on this card. Okay, like, I will make room for you on this card.
But every one of those fighters are entertaining as well.
Correct, but like, they're professional and they understand. Yeah. But like even Mike, like, we just talked about it when he told me BKFC. He's like, I think I can be a BKFC world champ. And I said, I think so too. But the other thing is Mike doesn't talk smack. Mm-mm. He's very respectable. And
he's quiet on social media.
He's quiet and stuff. And I said, every time there's a microphone in front of your face, you need to say Josh Dyer's name. Mm. You know, and he does, and he needs to say it over and over again until it gets into Josh Dyer. And as soon as Josh Dyer says his name back, like, I don't even know who this Mike Jones is or whatever, but as soon as he says his name back, now you got him, right? And like, you have to understand, you're building your brand and your character and your whole profile. Fighters that don't understand that and think that it's just about what they do in the cage, they're so wrong. And until we can get a community of fighters in this next generation that understand that, and I think that they will, because the next generation is a lot more social media savvy. I think that it will. I think that's how Fierce FC grows, as we continue to put, you know, our media team, Blake and Caleb and all of them, they keep making the sick highlights. I mean, wait till you see what our production looks like. You get a little demo and price, but wait till you see what our production looks like at the Maverick Center when we return August 16th. Like, it's going to be elevated so much with the promo videos and the things that we're doing before the fights.
I love it, man. Got to salute the promotion team. You talk about fighters calling other fighters out and having that type of personality. I seen Jerome Hatch do that to Kent. Yeah. He was like, yo, you don't put nobody to sleep, though. You don't finish nobody. I was like, okay, I see what you're doing, Jerome. You're baiting them into a bare knuckle fight. I see what you're doing here.
That would be wild, too.
Yeah, I mean, maybe soon. I don't know. I mean, you're the matchmaker.
Not soon, unfortunately.
All right, we'll leave that there. Yes. Okay. Upcoming fights. We have Carbon County Event Center. That's the prize fight. July 26th, Fierce Challenger Series 15. Are we going to have an announcement on who's fighting that one? Do we want to announce
contracts are finals. We have a really good card. Posters will come out probably by the time this podcast is out. We have posters getting worked on now. But what I'm really excited about that card is I believe we have 7 locals to price on that card, which is the most. We have 13 matchups right now, and we're waiting on a potential 14th, which would be a pro debut for someone, which would be pretty exciting for the promotion. Just waiting on some medical clearance. But we have 2 title fights. We have Dosam Leon defending his welterweight title against Lane Dalton. That's actually a rematch. They fought on another show in Idaho before. They are two Idaho boys coming down and fighting for our 170 title. I think that's going to be an unbelievable matchup between two incredibly tough, gritty competitors. I think Dosam shocked a lot of people when he beat Christian Reyes at the Masonic Temple in January or February show. I think it was the February show with him. Yeah. So, but Dosam, that's a really good one. Drake Anderton, who fought for our 205 title and lost to the number one amateur in the entire country up on the Idaho show. He's decided to move to heavyweight, and he'll be fighting Chris Falau for our amateur heavyweight title that's vacant. Brendan Myers, Dietrich Jessup 2, which is a rematch from both of their debuts. Now they've each got a whole bunch of amateur fights and experience are running it back. Hannah Silva's back fighting Chloe Becker. Both fought on the show, and their rematch, they're rematching it. They fought at another show up in Montana a few years ago where Hannah got the best of Chloe. Chloe's evolved, and Hannah's going up a weight class now from 115 to 125 for that. Nakia August is on the card. She's fighting it and making her MMA debut. She's always been really exciting in both of her kickboxing matches for Fierce. A lot of the price guys.
Is that Kiwi?
Kiwi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's making her MMA debut.
I've been waiting for Kiwi to come back.
Yeah.
I feel like every time we talk about women in
she
the
was
sport.
gonna be on the May card, but she got hurt. But we got everything locked up, and she's ready to go in her hometown of Price to make her MMA debut. Super excited for her.
Heck yeah, man.
But having the Price guy, a lot of those Price kids, guys were on the kickboxing Muay Thai card. That was like their warm up rep, warm up camp, pre camp. We're gonna see Kate Olson, Curtis Callan, Alex Lavia. They're all on that Price card.
Man,
be really fun.
FierceFightingChampionship.com for more information and tickets is how you can get that. I'm assuming the pay-per-view will be there on. Oh, download the app, actually.
Absolutely.
I got the app on my phone. The app is phenomenal. They have a whole catalog on there. Fierce Fighting Championship on iOS and Android Marketplace. The fight that we've been talking about, this has kind of been the highly anticipated return of the Maverick Center. August 16th, Fierce Fighting Championship number 42. Can we announce the headliner for this fight and any other fights that you have?
When is this going to drop?
When do you want it to drop?
Let me get the signed contracts. When you drop this,
okay,
let me make sure the contracts are signed before.
Well, you need a week.
Drop this podcast. No, I mean I should be getting them literally tonight or maybe
tomorrow. Yeah, this won't come out for maybe next week. It'll come out.
So the main event is a super fight between Joel Haro and Justin Horsley.
Ooh.
Justin Horsley, who had the knockout of the year last year up in Idaho Falls, Utah boy, grew up here in Bountiful. He was going to stay at featherweight. He used to be a bantamweight. He's put on some size, wanted to stay at featherweight, but for this matchup, I got him to meet in the middle at 140 for a super fight between Joel Haro and Justin Horsley, who honestly, arguably, Justin had the knockout of the year against Mark Coates up in Idaho Falls. That place was going wild when he knocked him out. And then Joel, who, even though he didn't win the fight, probably had the moment of the year with that spinning elbow against Hunter Azure in that title fight, which was also just bonkers. So, I think they're gonna blow the roof off of that place. That card is shaping up to be this one is under contract. If anybody remembers the show, the last two performances, Nate Hava Owens beat up Steven Steyerwalt in an all-time performance and beat Kesley Collard at the Maverick Center last year very convincingly, tore his ACL. He's making his return against the guy that nobody would say yes to in Utah or surrounding states, Nasir Davis at the Maverick Center. For Nasir's welcome back. So he'll be making his second walk as a pro, both under the Fierce banner. We're kind of bringing Nasir in as one of our guys. And
I love that because Nasir, you talk about knockouts of the year. He was a candidate.
Dude.
Twice, right?
Two of them. Two of his knockouts.
Yeah.
He's nasty. And Nate, that's a big step up for Nasir. Nate's a dog and he has a ton of experience and he's a good boxer and a good striker. And Nasir has shown what he can do. And he had Fight of the Year candidate last year with him and Jackson DeGray down in Price and 2 knockouts of the year. Yeah, so that's back at the bantamweight division. We should be waiting on approval. Just wrapping up negotiations to get Zeke back on there and in the card. Ammon Garcia's on the card against Darian Orvin, who decided to make the jump to pro after he lost the title. He decided that's what he needed. He just needed to fight some strikers. That's where he's comfortable. And he literally messaged me and asked for Ammon Garcia for his pro debut. The balls on that kid. So good for him.
Guacamole.
Good for that kid. Got it. Hopefully, a couple amateur title fights that I'm waiting to finalize. There's some really, really good fights and some really exciting matchups on that card.
Is Nicole on this card?
We are waiting for a 100% yes from an opponent for our amateur 145 title because, unfortunately, Melody Schrock has vacated her 145 title as she has moved to Florida and her new coaches found her a fight in Florida rather than deciding to travel back to Utah for her to defend her title. But she said after she does that fight, whoever wins out of Ariel and Nicole, if they decide that she does another amateur fight, maybe she'll come back and try and get her belt back, or she'll just go pro. But Nicole, Nicole should be on that card.
Waiting for contracts to get signed for Nicole, though.
Waiting for her opponent is coming off of a layoff, and we are just confirming that medically she will be good to go in a little over 10 weeks.
Gotcha. Who else? Any others that you want to reveal? This is a big deal, man. We're back at the Maverick Center, August 16th. Fierce Fighting Championship 42. Again, all these other cards, previous cards from Fierce is on the Fierce app, so make sure you download that. I love the app, especially on my phone.
Oh, this one's really fun. The return of Marco Sanchez against Justin McDonald. Marco dropping down to 170.
What?
Yeah, that one would be fun. If you see his posts, he said he was just already down to 187. Like, dude, he's too small for middleweight. I mean, Marco's a G. He'll fight anywhere, but he'll be back at 170. Anthony Castro, looking to get him rebooked on the card. Waiting. Let's see. Hopefully he's on the card. Chris Ventura is back on the card against Tayson Royer. That's really exciting. Aspen Kobayashi versus Brock Adams. They had two of the best debuts at amateur 155. Nick Lavulo, who had like the 8-second knockout at Warehouse 22 last year, versus Hunter Birdsley, who had like one of the best 30-second knockouts that we've seen at that first Temple card, both at 205, absolute killers.
I thought he was heavyweight.
Nope.
Tavulo?
Nope.
He's just big body, huh?
His older brother, his little brother, Daniel Lavulo, was a heavyweight that lost to Chris Falau, I believe, in December. But Nick Lavulo,
Okay.
205 or
amateur fight.
That's an amateur fight. Yeah, but you have Joel versus Justin, then hopefully Zeke, Marco versus Justin McDonald, Anthony Castro, Nate Owens, Nasir Davis waiting on Castro's opponent. By the way, Mark Gonzalez should be on the card. There's a chance back healthy will be on that card. Ammon Garcia, a couple amateur title fights. Be good.
Man, you got a lot going on August 16th, man. Just the names that you've given us, it sounds like it's going to be the biggest name card that we've ever had, is what it sounded like, it's shaping up to be. Which makes me think, like, how the hell are you going to fill 44 in October? Do you already have names that you're thinking about for October?
Of course.
Okay. Are these names that I guess we can't reveal anything just yet. We got to save some things.
We got to save some things. One, we got to save some things, and two, we just have to wait and see how things play out. That's so far away. Like, we're barely in June.
Yeah. October is going to be interesting. There's a lot of things in limbo right now.
Moving parts. We'll just say a lot of moving parts. But, yeah, we're up in Bear Lake again September 6th.
Yeah, that one's always...
That's a cool card. That's the coolest. I think, dude, the outdoor event, honestly, for how much anxiety it gives me to do an outdoor event last year, that was really fun. I'm really looking forward, and I'm looking way more forward to it this year, even because now we know like kind of what we're getting ourselves into.
We need a backup plan for like any sort of rain or anything.
We have one.
Well, we just gonna throw a tarp over it or what?
No, we just move it under the pavilion.
You're not moving that cage.
No, if there's going to be rain, the cage is getting set up under the pavilion.
Okay.
Dude, Riley's get the back hose, just lift that cage up and just.
I've been there.
Put it on the forks and just lift it and just.
No.
When I seen Crown, their latest post about looking for a fighter, they had it like the cage in the water.
I told him, I said, I'm in. No, but I did tell him I'm fighting on that card too, so that should be good. So.
Is their ring really in the water?
No.
Oh, it looked cool.
That's what I said. And dude, my coach Aldo, he's a triathlete. He could swim like a fish, no problem.
Jeez, after every round, everybody has to swim.
Swimming over.
Oh, man, a lot of cool things going on. FierceFightingChampionship.com. I mean, the whole halfway of 2026 is done. I mean, we got the date set all the way until May of 2026, which is really cool. A year out, matter of fact.
Yeah.
A whole year out.
And a little update, like the temple's been great to work with and stuff. Hopefully we get some things done. We just haven't yet, but they should be getting some permanent AC put in there. That's why we can't go back in the summer, like May. That's why we cut it off, is because they don't have AC yet. But they should be getting some permanent AC put in there, which will allow us to do events at the temple, whether they're MMA or the kickboxing Muay Thai cards, every month.
Are they going to get a heater too? Because
they have a heater.
Oh, it was freezing the first time we were in there.
Right. Well, it's because they turned the heater off because we told them to, because there's like
it gets really hot, really
because they can't it's not like temperature controlled. It's just turning on the boiler and so we're like all these bodies coming. So I figure we got to figure it out like the second and third time though.
Yeah. No, it was comfortable for sure. But the first time I was like, oh my gosh, it's freezing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's because they were setting up the cage and it got too hot in there, and they're like, "Hey, turn that off. It's gonna be hot." And then it's like we have all these bodies to warm it up, and then it was just a little too cold.
I gotta say though, like
figured it out.
Every single event, it gets better and better and better. Like the first one, the only concern I had was really seating. Seating got figured out. I didn't have nobody get confused. Security worked all that out. Everything has been. I don't want to jinx us to say flawless, but it's been better every single event. And I mean, Zach's pointing to Saygen, and Saygen, man, like to you, and I know all your boys, you guys do a phenomenal job, and I appreciate everything that you guys do. Everybody, man. I mean, Fierce has been something that I've been wanting for the longest time. I've been in this community since 2007, since one of my really good friends, Kofi, jumped into the ring in his Cottonwood High shorts, fighting guys twice his age. So it's like this is the community that I've wanted to see grow, and I seen inklings with it with Showdown, and now I feel like we're just the second coming, and we are Fierce is doing something that is needed, and I hope that Fierce, everybody that helps put this show on, feels the appreciation.
I mean, yeah, dude, we've worked through a lot of problems. But this is the first time that I feel super solid about everything. We have our new ticketing platform. I mean, we're scheduling a year out. We got solid teams all the way around, solid vendors. At this point, it's just plug and play. And, yeah, it feels good.
It's been nice because, I want Fierce to look a certain way. I want the show to look a certain way. And what's crucial to the growth of Fierce is for the fan experience and everything that you just talked about, like security, seating, everything getting better. Like that's him. Like that's what he does, and the problem solving and his ability with his team, but mostly in his brain of figuring that out. Like the way they've been able to execute show after show. And when I've told him like, hey, this isn't right. Like I don't like this or I don't like that. Like he's literally every single show, and you say it's getting better and better, it's because of him and his team creating systems and processes to make things better and better all the time. And the beautiful thing, and it's why me and Saygen work together, is we're never going to get content. Like, I don't think you're ever going to see a show where it's just like, hey, it's the same, and then it's like rinse, repeat. It's the exact same. Like, we are always going to be tinkering a little bit to add something to make something a little bit better. It's never going to be perfect, so we're going to continue to try and achieve perfection.
The young lady working the merch booth, I got to throw her a shout out. I don't know her name, but she sold me this hat.
Blonde?
Yes.
Kennedy.
Salute to that young lady. She was the sweetest. My dad got mad. I got this hat and didn't come back with another one.
Yeah, she's probably going to be full-time. I talked to her a little bit like 2 days ago. But yeah, she's been amazing to work with. Dude, she helps with the cage. She's a beast. And then, yeah, she's been doing our merch for us. And yeah, it's just picking up picking up the little pieces. That's just another thing that, now that's going to be perfected. I'm sure you've seen the merch booth on bad days when somebody's not doing it. It looks pretty rough, but she's come in and she's on it now. So one little thing after another.
It's phenomenal, man. I am so happy with the team. Salute to Jackson. I told Jackson he couldn't make it today, but I told him we're gonna make some noise for him. So salute to Jackson. Thank you, Jackson, for all you do. And same thing with Blake and everybody at Pats and everybody else that a part of the team. Salute to you guys. I
want to give some shout outs because, like you said, security has been A1. Kane Security, Jody and all of her team, they've been magnificent to work with. And then Akina with Bomb Diggity, I think it's bartending services or whatever. Akina was,
lifesaver.
I know you've heard a little bit about the shenanigans that happened with the bar stuff.
Yeah.
Akina has saved us. And, big shout out to her. Hayden with R&R Barbecue. Leslie and Bo at Bad Bev. The show doesn't happen without these little tiny pieces that
the vendors.
They really make the show.
Who's the drink people?
That's Leslie. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Leslie and Bo.
I remember the dude with the blonde beard.
Yeah.
Salute to them.
That's Bo.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
They're amazing.
The acai people.
Brazilian berry. Bruno with a Brazilian berry.
Yep.
Fantastic. Go get some. I had a really nice acai bowl May 16th.
Yeah. And then you got Rockwell and everybody that makes the show happen at this point. All my crew, they all know. I literally send them I love you messages because they make my whole weekend run that much more smooth. Even you, dude, like not having to worry about all these little intricate pieces now because we've already discussed it. Everyone already knows what their job is, what they need to do. That's why the show keeps getting better because everyone is just mastering their own craft and we're all just evolving as like this giant organism.
Yeah.
So.
Like I said, I'm just happy to be a part of. And if you guys cut me, I'll kill you.
You're not going anywhere.
Don't plan on it, dude.
But no, man, I really appreciate it. Salute to everybody. The next one again is July 26th at Carbon County Event Center, Fierce Challenger Series 15. The thing that I love about the Challenger Series is that these are the guys that's making it to the FFC cage. Like these guys and girls are working their ass off. So make sure you help support the Challenger Series. I love that. What we're looking at, Challenger, we're almost at 20. Like we're moving by the end of next year. We're gonna be probably in the 30s, right? Close to.
I think. Are we gonna make the Muay Thais?
Yeah,
we're gonna make them
Challenger Series. Yeah. So we'll hit it into the 20s by next year, and then we hit Fierce Championship Series 50 next April. So that's we'll be flirting with 75 total shows by the end of next year.
Mm-hmm.
So awesome.
Just hit 50 last year.
So awesome. So make sure you help support. I know that Fierce is always looking to partner up and have sponsors and have people more involved on the business side of things. How can they do that?
Just visit the website. There's a join the community tab and become a sponsor. I know that there's also some ads running around Facebook and Instagram right now to become a sponsor. So, or just you could find us through the community. You can get
not hard to find.
Yeah.
No, but don't click any jisty links because there's gonna be it makes me so anytime there's a Fierce event, there's always these random you got a friend message from a Fierce Fighting Championship, but I know it's not the real one.
Yeah, there's only one Fierce Fighting Championship Facebook. Don't add all the other ones.
Don't get scammed.
It's like 20 every
Fierce
single time we have.
Will not add you as a friend ever.
Yeah.
We are an event page. Just go like our page. It's all good. I'll add you as a friend. I add everybody.
There you go. You did go viral.
And Saygen will add you as a friend because he's never on Facebook.
Yeah.
What's the DMs look like now that you knock some dude out in 8 seconds?
I got some wild ones.
I could knock you out, dude.
Dude, we had some of those. There was one guy popping off, and I was like, "Come get it, Bubba." I got my dude. Yeah. So I actually just turned off my mentions and stuff at one point because I was like, yeah, because like most of it was complimentary, but then there's just these losers that just have to pipe up, and it's like, dude, I'm a nobody, but like you're a real nobody. You know what I mean?
They're taking your advice though, Zach. They're doing what Mike Jones said, that you told Mike Jones. Call out the dude that's hot right now.
The difference is Mike would fight him. They won't fight me.
That's true. Yo, Mike, let's get rid of the mullet, man.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? Keep the mullet, Mike.
I love it because I know Mike won't hurt me.
But he could.
He definitely could.
I've sparred with him. It sucks.
Bro, I went to Jeremy Horn's gym and I got some footage of him, and seeing him and who's the other young guy that just he got hurt. It starts with an A. Alden. Them going at it, and I was just like, man, if these guys had somebody just walked in here and just talk shit, these guys would murder somebody right now.
Oh, dude, we had a guy at one hit. And he's like, you guys are always parking in my customer spots. And he comes in with a chainsaw because he's cutting down trees. And he like threatened us. And we were all looking at him like, do you know who you're threatening? I'm like, take your pick. Take the girl that's training over there and she'll come whoop you. Like, who are you talking to, bro? So, yeah.
Meanwhile, it's Kennedy and she whoops his ass.
Yeah.
So, a chainsaw. Don't bring a chainsaw, by the way. Like, come on, man. Like,
yeah,
leave the chainsaw outside.
Yeah, calm down. Calm down.
Leatherface.
It's just a parking spot.
All right, Zach, the Utah Jazz are gonna suck next year. I'm just trying to fill space right now. Just play.
Wait, who's your team?
The Portland Trailblazers.
That's right. They suck too.
They do suck. They do suck. But the Utah Jazz, they literally came out and was like, yeah, we tanked for a reason and we didn't get lucky.
Dude, that's why you ready for this? I haven't watched any basketball this year. And people are like, why? I'm not going to invest in a team. They're not even trying to win.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm out on the NBA. I don't watch it anymore.
I'm not going to lie. The Knicks Indiana game was,
great.
Was great.
I'm out on the NBA. I'm out. I don't care.
Why?
I don't care about it anymore. The product sucks. It's the same thing every night.
Okay, so this is a big thing.
The product sucks.
It's a big thing. They're saying the same thing about the UFC right now.
That's because they don't know fighting.
Some people will argue and say he don't know basketball.
I grew up. You ready for this? I'll bet you we could do a basketball trivia. I'll bet you I know more about basketball than your most basketball fans.
I'm gonna set up a basketball trivia night.
Done.
Game night here in the studio.
Cook. Football, baseball, basketball. People forget. Like before I started doing NBA, or UFC, football, baseball. I was a season ticket holder for the Jazz till 5-6 years ago. My whole life between my parents and myself.
You wish you wouldn't have done that? Saved that money?
Yeah. Yeah. What a waste.
Being a Jazz fan has to be heartbreaking.
Okay, how many rings you guys got?
We got one.
Great.
Bill Walton, 78, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, same amount of national titles as BYU football. How about that?
BYU's actually be good this year. Salute to them. All right, guys, let's wrap this thing up. Where can we follow and all that jazz?
You can just follow us at Fierce Fighting Championship. Saygen's social media is pretty low key.
Yeah,
I'm getting active on the TikTok though. Zack Fierce FC.
Why? Because you went viral?
No, because I think it's good for the brand and the promotion. And I want to interact with people more. And I think that there is, WWE's pulling back the curtain on a lot of stuff, behind the scenes stuff. I was kind of I was like, dude, I just need to get out there more and just share the behind the curtain stuff that, not to put people down or make people look bad or whatever, but I want to share behind the curtain so people I think people get the fuller picture. What's crazy? I got hit up from a guy from Idaho to fight, and he's like, "Who do you guys have for me?" And I'm like, "What are you offering? What do you have to offer our show? I don't need you." Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? A lot of fighters think that promoters we're desperate for fighters because we reach out and ask them, but it's because they don't understand. Most fighters don't understand the fight game. It's really bizarre to me. So I figure the more I can go out and do that, one thing that's really nice that I appreciate is one of the other local matchmakers and promoters for Fury FC. He started following me and commenting and liking the post, and he messaged me. He's like, this is really good content, making him think maybe I should do this for my local fighters or at least sharing my own. And I was like, maybe it can like snowball into just educating the fighter community a little bit more.
I love that. And I think you're doing it in a tasteful way. Like, I personally haven't seen you like single anybody out. I
haven't yet, but I will. There's one coming that I will single somebody out.
All right.
Be nice. Be nice to people.
Yeah, be nice. No, actually, no. Be ruthless.
You got it.
But it's like, if the shoe fits, wear it. You know what I mean? Like, you know when the shoe fits. You know, and for me, it's like, just be better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it. Just be better, and then that better outcome will be for not only the promotion, but for you as a fighter as well.
Yes.
That's all it comes down to.
Facts.
So follow Ridge. What is it, Ridge?
No, I changed it. It's Zack Fierce FC.
Oh man, you're so fucking.
Did you change your Instagram too?
Yeah, my wife messaged me yesterday, and she's like, "I feel like we should have talked about this. Like, I don't like this." And she's like, not seeing Ridge 79 on there. She's like, I don't like. I should have been consulted before you did this. I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. But
whole paradigm shift.
Let's talk about the fighting girls cart with
FFC ring girls.
Ring girls.
Yep. Go for it. Talk about it.
We need to start some drama with the
No, we don't. We don't need to start any drama. You know what? I'll tell you what. You can start drama with the Fierce FC ring girls. I'm going to Nope.
Just playing. All right. I know my wife does that enough. I
saw your wife talking smack to AJ Perez's fans.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, is that when you are really diehard, and when you're friends with guys that are winning, right? And then you have fighters that you have a relationship with, you want to defend them, right?
Right.
And anybody online, and I tell her all the time, you can't go back and forth with these people online. One, they don't care, and two, it's just a waste of time.
Correct.
You know, if you have time, maybe it's just like a personal thing. But at the end of the day, Kent knows that you love and you support him. These guys that want the rematch, they just want it because their guy lost. You know what I mean? And I get it. Dude, I understand.
Dude, let's just call a spade a spade. Early stoppage. Tyler Tomlinson saved years off that man's life.
He did a great job the whole night. I don't know why people...
Tyler's a great ref. Great ref.
He looked like a fighter.
He has fought. He's a monster. He's a monster. I've rolled with Tyler, and I've never been ragdolled by a human that's relatively my size like that before in my life. He's like rolling with a boulder that you like, dude, you can't grab him. You can't move him unless he wants to move. Dude, he's a beast.
What's he, 150?
Tyler, dude, he's got to be like, he's got to be like 190, 200. He's like my size.
Really?
He is strong as an ox.
I always see him at a distance.
He's fought. Yeah, he's fought.
I'll have to YouTube him. I wouldn't. Every time I see him, I'm like, man, I don't. Every time, because he does this, he does go like this. And he takes a big breath in, and then he's like, all right, come on.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this dude.
Officer Tomlinson.
Oh, he's at law enforcement?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I don't want to fuck with him.
Yeah, no.
Nah, I'm good. Come on the podcast, though. All right, go follow all the boys and look forward to future fights. Obviously, we're going to be doing this often. Anything else, fellas? Anything else you need to plug?
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Of course.
Go get your R&R barbecue, folks.
Yeah. Hold on. They actually sent me they're going to give me a gift card because I tagged them in one of my posts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, that's nice.
There's nothing better than some free R&R barbecue.
Dude, I'll pay for it. I don't even care. I love R&R.
Dude, I'm just saying.
Brisket nachos.
I haven't had the nachos yet. I did the mac and cheese. So I need to do the nachos next time.
Dude, the brisket mac and cheese is the way to go, bro.
Bomb.
Every time.
With the hot barbecue?
Yeah.
No, I don't do hot. I'm an original guy.
Either way,
you got little baby tummy.
You can't miss. You can't miss.
Can't handle the heat.
Get out of here.
Zach's like, where's the milk? This is spicy.
I don't drink milk.
That's just ketchup, bro.
Yeah, it's just cats. It's Heinz 57. All right, make sure you go and support the podcast on Patreon, patreon.com/DreRocka, DRERAWKA. If you're a part of the non-paying peasant crew, just like, share, comment, and subscribe. It's free to show love. Go check out Fierce Fighting Championship. Download the app and tell a friend about it. If you're a fan of mixed martial arts, you got to check out what Fierce Fighting Championship is doing. We talked about the kickboxing. There's so many other dope things that Fierce is doing. So make sure you follow, like, comment, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff. Have the day you deserve. Always protect your light. We're out. Peace.